and welcome to the No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with
Jocelyn DeClos
and Colin Cunningham.
And today,
just want to fly.
Whoa, don't jump the gun, man.
Put your arms around me, baby.
So we're reviewing a movie today that has a great trailer.
Oh,
but
we got to talk about the trailer. I wrote it beat by beat.
I want to start with that because I was sold on a completely different movie.
I told you, Colin. I'm like, this movie sucks, but the trailer is great.
Yeah.
When I feel down, I put this trailer on. I'm like, yeah, the movies.
This is the most 2000 trailer.
Oh, so good.
It's yeah. If you look it up, the movie's called Supernova from 2000. There's a lot of supernovas, by the way. Directed by Walter Hill using the pseudonym Thomas Lee, and they changed it to Thomas Lee because what was it, Justin?
Well, I learned all about it on Justin's recent Important Cinema Club episode on the Alan Smithy movies.
Oh, okay, so yeah, Alan Smithy had been used too much by this point.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right,
and they wanted to get rid of it.
Name.
So this film was originally developed by William Malone, director of Fear.com. as well.
Oh my gosh.
That movie stunk.
House on Haunted Hill. He also did Titan Find, aka Creature, and this was supposed to be kind of like a follow-up to that one. H.R. Geiger did a bunch of designs on it. I don't know how far he got into production, but at some point Walter Hill came on board and he shot the movie. And the story,
I think there were two directors before Walter Hill. So there was Shoulder.
Well, Jack Shoulder came on afterwards.
Yeah, but he came on before, and then the head of MGM didn't want him, and then James Spader recommended, hey,
Jack Shoulder is most famous for directing Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Dead, aka the gay one. Yeah. Very fun. And he also did The Hidden, the Kyle MacLachlan alien body hopping movie.
Heard a lot about that movie.
So it was actually James Spader that recommended Walter Hill. And Walter Hill, I don't know, it didn't sound like he wanted to do it, but he was like, I've always wanted to work with James Spader.
At a certain point, Walter Hill, like his talent, like The Witch's Curse, it just like flew out a window or something.
He's not as beloved as Carpenter.
Honestly, I had to look up what he's even done.
Oh, come on. Walter Hill's done The Warriors.
Streets of Fire.
I didn't know that.
48 Hours.
Oh, that one's great. Another 48 Hours. He was very involved in Alien. He was kind of like the one who produced it. He also did Southern Comfort, The Long Riders, Hard Times, The Driver, Red Heat. That one's not good.
I haven't seen any of these movies.
They're good.
Red Heat.
But in the late 90s, he kind of floundered for a long time. He did Last Man Standing, a remake of Yojimbo, a.k.a. A Fistful of Dollars, starring Bruce Willis.
Christopher Walken.
That's right. And his last few movies are just awful. I don't know if you saw the one where... it's what's the actor? Michelle Rodriguez gets turned into a man. Oh no!
What the fuck?
It's called The Assignment.
Didn't he do one with Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, Bullet to the Head. Yeah. I saw the world premiere of The Assignment at TIFF, sitting behind Walter Hill and Sigourney Weaver, and I was I had to keep myself from laughing so hard. Sigourney Weaver seemed to have a blast watching it.
So I'm guessing it was bad.
I just picture your head. You're just sweating.
I
was
head
just like your face is just going red.
Yeah.
Is it like about Michelle Rodriguez has to go undercover or something?
No, she gets the gender assignment surgery.
Oh, okay. Well, the assignment.
Sorry,
I thought maybe
she is a man that gets turned into a woman. That's the plot of the movie.
Oh, okay. But it's just about somebody getting gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah, but it's played like a horror film. She's like, no.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought it was like a comedy,
No,
just one of
serious.
the guys or something.
So they get this surgery against their wishes. Oh
so
God.
Michelle Rodriguez wears I think she has a wispy little mustache at the beginning of the movie.
Oh Jesus!
Different. Okay, I don't want to get into this because
they just shave it off.
Talking about it.
Yeah, so as soon as Walter Hill comes on, this movie kind of like the behind the scenes stuff is amazing to read. It's had so many troubles. Walter Hill kind of didn't sound like he wanted to even be part of it, but he wanted to work with James Spader. He said the script's kind of crap. It's got a lot of issues, but I can fix them. I can rewrite them as we go.
I'm going to put a lot of creepy monsters in it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But apparently the MGM, what he didn't know was that the head of MGM at the time loved the script, was very attached to it, so didn't like any of the changes that he was making to the script.
Whoever this guy was or gal, it seems like it was them versus Walter Hill the whole movie.
Well, it changes. It's everybody against Walter Hill, it seems, because the studio slashed the budget during production, so they had to cut all these different scenes. The robot, the android that's in this movie, the android in the movie was supposed to be this high-tech robot. I think Digital Domain was originally supposed to be a partner, like a financial partner in this movie, and then at some point they were just like, screw this. So the high-tech robot just became a guy in a suit.
Oh, he looks like crap. Just so bad.
I love that guy.
He looks so bad. His name is Flyboy, and he's just a kind of like...
I just wanna fly.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, because he's dressed like a World War I pilot, and they make a joke about it.
Yeah, they kind of dress him up because... what is it, like
he
Robert
looks like
Forster.
One of those robot people you see on the street dancing for
yeah,
money.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. He's moving jerky like that.
He's all he's all jerking around
and he
every
has
time he walks.
tinfoil on him.
Yeah,
right?
he looks so bad.
And so what ended up happening was they did a test screening, and Walter Hill goes, none of the effects were done, so they wouldn't like it. Went disastrously. They fired him.
He quit.
They hired Jack Shoulder. He does a bunch of reshoots. Don't know how much. They do a test screening. It's better. MGM's not happy with it still. They fire him again. Try to hire back Walter Hill. Walter Hill's like, no. What?
No. What happened was Jack Shoulder came on, like you said, re-edited, reshot, and then they tested it. It tested better than Walter Hill's, but then the head of MGM got swapped out.
Yeah,
a new guy came in and they wanted Walter Hill back, and he said, I'll only come back if I get $5 million to do all these reshoots. And they said no, and he said, fine, I quit again. He quit twice on this movie.
And they're like, there's only one person left to go to, Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, God.
Please, Mr. Coppola, save our movie.
Yeah,
so Coppola was like, no problem. Let's just do a little digital blackface here.
Which I guess we'll explain later, but he did.
He was on the board of MGM, so I guess this was his way of trying to save...
I think it was an easy paycheck for Zoetrope Studios, because they got paid $1 million to work on it.
Yeah, to re-edit. There was he wanted James Spader and Angela Bassett to have a sex scene, so he took a sex scene with Robin Tunney and Lou Diamond Phillips, and then digitally darkened Robin Tunney and stuck Angela Bassett's
look like Angela Bassett. But on the IMDb, it's he had a narrative reason behind it. It wasn't like, let's get some more sex. It was to connect those characters.
Yeah,
which I agree with, I guess.
Yeah,
a weird way of going about it. And no, it was like black body.
Yeah,
it was the body double that they had to alter the skin tone.
Can you imagine being Angela Bassett and suddenly you go and there's like a sex scene with you and James Spader in the movie? You'd be like, what?
Wait a minute, what?
Even though this film is directed so shittily, it's like all canted angles, all like
so
tight
weird.
Close-ups, like a TV show essentially.
I said to April at one point, it felt like it was, the cameraman was standing on like a rocking boat or something like that.
Yeah,
it was like, what is happening?
And it gets worse.
It's just back and forth, and it gets worse. And everybody is lit through slats. It looks like all their light is just falling in strips across their face. How do you know
it's the year 2000 as well? Well, let me show you my little friend. I am blue, da-boo-dee, da-boo-da.
Is that song in there?
It's a blue movie.
It's just a blue movie. It's just nothing but blue. That. It's like Underworld.
Well, they're under a blue giant.
Yeah,
this is true. Yeah, I didn't notice.
Before we get into the movie, let's just talk about the trailer a little bit because this trailer rocks.
It is the best. I was kind of sad that we skipped ahead.
It starts with just the needle drop of Sugar Ray's. What's that song?
Just
Fly.
wanna fly.
Da, da, da. And it's like all these sexy young people are like, hey, the transporter makes you want to have sex more.
Yeah, and like they've got the classic 90s announcer on the AS-75 medical rescue ship.
Nightingales.
Yeah,
Blah, blah, blah.
They are having a good time, but they're about to get a call.
And
the
then
worst call of their life.
Cuts to some Matrix ass music where it's like
Yeah, and then like the scene, it kind of goes through the whole movie a little bit. Where
but just when you think it's like, okay, we're into the action action part of this trailer before it wraps up, but then boom, there's an explosion, and it's like, Mama told me. By the three dog
nights, Mama told me not to come. During like this like intense scene of all these weird action scenes, also including many scenes not in the movie.
Oh yeah, there's a scene of James Spader finding an alien who's like, help me.
Yeah. Who I read online that was supposed to be a fetus, like a man fetus.
Oh my god.
Which we will explain later.
And then it has the announcer. Two amazing
like two taglines.
taglines.
First one is, he's about to turn the heavens into hell.
But the next one is probably the greatest tagline of all time, I think. And there's some good ones out there.
You take it away, Justin.
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the universe. Mama told me.
This makes it look
perfect.
like this sexy, exciting space romp.
The only thing that's missing is someone gets thrown out of an airlock in the trailer, and I wish the soundtrack was like, I just want to fly.
Yeah, or maybe a Wilhelm scream or something.
Yeah, it's all just like quips and one-liners in the trailer too. Yeah, like
And
someone
what
that gets.
you should see in the trailer, like as you're watching it, you're like, something seems off in here. There's not really any monster in it, except for like a vampire from Buffy looking dude.
Yeah, yes.
Oh yeah, did he even? I mean,
That was more so in the trailer. He
It
was
was,
more
okay.
monstrous than he is in the movie.
yeah, because
He does get the forehead in the movie too at the end.
He does. Okay,
It's not that intense though.
because I think they scaled that back. Originally, he was
He
supposed to go
more
full on
like
monster.
Eric Bana in Star Trek 09.
Yeah, he
Ron
does.
kind of.
Yeah, he does. He
It
looks
was
like
even more so in the original. And they actually went back and reshot his monster scenes with less makeup on.
Because the
Because they
studio
didn't
wanted
think
it
they
to
would
be
like- yeah,
sexy.
they didn't think you would like
sexy
it.
and hip. Sexy it is, man. This is one horny movie. Everybody is like naked and
Yeah, there's a lot of nudity.
like
not like
sexing it up.
explicit. Like you see Robin Tunney's boobs and a butt here and there, but it's not like you see anyone's goods. But there's a lot of
don't see their
undressing.
anyone's goods. Oh, Robert Forster gets his.
You get to see Peter Facinelli's butt. He walks out
Yeah.
on screen.
Oh, he's naked. Everybody is naked.
Well,
James Spader is
you have
looking.
to be
introduced with his
naked.
shirt off. Look at those guns, baby.
He is ripped.
Yeah.
This is like the most
I think
buff
he's
I've ever
more
seen
naked
him.
than he was in David Cronenberg's Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, those crash, man, they rip your clothes off, but you don't get completely nude. I mean, Lou Diamond Phillips is doing handstand push-ups.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm surprised anybody's even wearing clothes in this ship.
Yeah,
Like walking around with their, like,
Okay, so this film
and
starts
pieces.
with, as many space films do, a spaceship going through space, and warning signs go off in my brain right away. I'm like, this is a digital spaceship. It looks like shit.
it's not.
That
it
opening
looks
shot, though, really does look.
It
like
looks
it's
digital because they put a digital sheen on it.
There might be some like effect or
Later
glow or
on,
something.
it looked more real.
Yeah,
so I
it's
don't know what's up with that.
digital domain. I don't think at the time they would do digital ships like Lost in Space, maybe, but you can tell this is a model. They had a whole model.
It
Lost in
doesn't
Space, the
have
movie?
that even Event Horizon model feel, which I really like.
Oh yeah, it's very glowy and shiny.
Well,
It's
because
got
they're
a different
also
aesthetic.
they're integrating real life people in the ships, like the cameras going across the ship into
Yeah.
windows and shit like that.
Yeah, it starts with Robert Forster. I guess he's the captain, and he's in his cockpit watching Tom and Jerry cartoons.
He's writing his dissertation on cartoons.
He's trying to get a PhD on
his
violence
thing.
cartoons or
That's
something like
his
that.
thing. And then we go right to the computer, waking up the guy from Star Trek Discovery.
Wilson Cruz.
And his name is Benjamin in this because the computer says it 5,000 times.
What's the computer's name again?
Sweetie.
Sweetie.
Based
you
on the
know.
classic Jane Campion film Sweetie, of course, I'm sure.
It is so bizarre.
This is another change they did. They made the voice sexier.
Yeah, but it's so weird.
With it, but there's a lot of people talking to this computer.
Everybody's saying "sweetie, sweetie, sweetie," and it's so weird.
Okay.
And then we cut to Lou Diamond Phillips and Robin Tunney just having sex.
They're just getting it on.
They're banging, and then we glide over to James Spader floating in a section of the ship.
Yeah, and
James Spader looks off in this shot, as the camera tracks towards him.
He looks like a doll.
Yeah, he was probably knowing Francis Ford Coppola, he was a black man that they digitally whitened.
Oh no. And so we're also introduced to Angela Bassett, who is very angry in this movie. She seems pissed off to be in this film.
Her and James Spader. James Spader is so gruff and intense.
Yes. And he's also just I don't care.
Yeah, he's he's just annoyed to be there.
I'm not doing this. We're not doing this.
Did I miss a line? Because he says a thing in the trailer where he's I've gotten out of worse jams than this. And they're like what? 10 minutes ago when the engines failed? That's a funny line. I don't remember it in the movie, though, the second part.
He does. He says
he does.
He says the first part, and then later on, 10 minutes later, Angela Bassett says, "You know what you were talking about? You've been in worse scrapes?" And he's like, "Yeah, 10 minutes before that when the ship was crashing."
Sorry, I must have zoned out on just the blue close-up drunken cinematography of this film. Well, it all looks the same. You could flip through the movie and you wouldn't know what scene you're looking at.
Yeah,
it's
it
all
does.
The same.
It is very uninteresting production design. Everything just has the same texture. It's just sort of shiny metal. And
it
just
also
blue
is
light.
just kind of crappy looking.
Yeah, it is.
Not, it's all not very nice looking. So obviously the budget was cut. So
yeah, it looks really, really cheap. Apparently, the budget, according to Wikipedia and IMDb, budget was $90 million.
Seems like a lot.
It looks like an episode of Andromeda.
Do you want to hear the worldwide gross?
How much?
14.8. 14.8.
Wow, that's two Black Hats. Because Black Hat made no money at the box office.
14 on a $90 million budget.
Oh wait, God. I lied. The box office of Black Hat, the Michael Mann film, was $19.7 million. So, yeah, it beat Supernova. Yeah. I mean, this was a time when did Sphere come out? I always get that it's in that boring sci-fi mode.
I think Sphere was, I believe, after Jurassic Park.
Okay. Sphere was the Paul W.S. Anderson?
No,
that was
Sphere was
Michael Crichton.
And it was a Barry Levinson film.
Yeah, so that was when Crichton fever was happening after Jurassic Park.
You got your Congos, you got your Spheres.
Oh, you got your Congos. We got to do that movie.
As I was thinking of
another boring movie.
Speaking of Ernie,
of Event Horizon.
Yeah, right? I was getting vibes of that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the production design, the interesting cinematography of Event Horizon.
No, but it does have Lou Diamond Phillips. And hey, it's got Robert Forster. I can't wait what kind of wacky adventures will go on
Justin,
wait, no.
Don't get too attached.
Lou Diamond Phillips' second appearance on this podcast.
What was his first?
The Big Hit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's not having as much fun as this, even though he does have an orgasm ball that he gets obsessed with in this.
Oh, my God. Everybody is just...
So they get a distress signal, and Angela Bassett is like, "Oh, that guy's evil. He's my ex-husband."
Yeah, what the hell?
She hates him, and for whatever reason, Robert Forster is like, "We have to get him."
Yeah, because Robert Forster's jumping hyperspace, I guess, is very dangerous in this universe. So he's like, I'm not risking it unless the guy's name is important or something.
Well, the thing is, what's kind of interesting about the setup is I think this is basically like a space ambulance, right? They're not up there doing research. They are a medical ship.
It's just a medical ship.
So they're there to answer medical calls. So that is their job. But, James Spader is like, we need to know more about you before we just go pick you up or we're not coming. And,
Angela Bassett was like, "Yeah, that guy is my worst nightmare." It's like, okay.
And Robert
Forster's like, "Let's go save him."
Yeah, they don't follow it up. And then for some reason, so they all get naked, of course.
That's how you hyperjump in this universe.
Yeah, so you get into these individual little pods and stuff.
Hey, if you can't stand the heat,
get out of the
universe. Off your clothes.
Oh, there you go.
It's I don't want to see Robert Forster
this
naked.
movie's missing a rap at the end where it's Supernova. We're all fucking in space.
Yeah.
James Spader doing it. For some reason,
got like someone like Snow or something like that.
yeah,
Someone less cool.
Supernova. Like, I don't know, Robbie Williams could do something with Supernova.
Yeah, we'll run the Supernova.
How about Champagne Supernova? Like Oasis
Champagne.
And
that's what plays over the credits. It's like Champagne Supernova. Yeah.
But they're doing, okay, so for some reason they're getting into their pods, and then Robert Forster stops Angela Bassett from getting into hers, and he's like, no, take mine. Like, let's swap pods.
She's just like, okay.
She's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'll explain later. Like, just swap pods. Which was so weird.
There's nothing I can say now that I can't say once we've jumped.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And then Lou Diamond's like, the last time I jumped, I didn't shit
Unless
right for 2
something
weeks.
goes bad with me, Robert Forster, but I'm sure that won't happen. All right, let me get in this pod.
So you think that's going to pay off somehow?
It doesn't pay off, does it?
No.
Okay. What? All right.
What doesn't pay
What
off?
happens is they
Him
jump.
switching pods with her.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
No, it doesn't.
It does because, well, the point is he knew that her pod was faulty.
How?
It had like a warning thing on it. They
But
explain
why would he get
later.
into it then?
Oh.
Because he was willing to risk his life for a guy we're picking up.
Oh, weird.
And he wasn't willing to let Angela Bassett risk her life.
Yeah, I missed that part. I must have been staring at his wiener.
What, Robert Forster's big hog?
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. There's a reason they call me a dick. All right, I'm getting in this pod now.
So
He's like, I need the special pod with the extra space.
So
There's the big elongated part on the front.
it's got a little
Brothers
bubble,
get. So
the
as you
extra
can guess,
large.
there's a jump that I'm sure costs like $20 million, like a bunch of morphs and shit.
So yeah, they're like getting stretchy skin and stuff, and something weird happens. They start playing scenes from the rest of the movie. They're flashing to. Remember this? To scenes from the rest of the movie where they're in their action-y confrontations.
I don't know if it's
stuff.
if it's a side effect of the hyper jump or whatever. Like you're seeing through time or some shit.
Coppola just wanted to spice things
let's
up.
spice this up a little bit.
It's not a
It's
bad
like scenes
idea.
from The Godfather.
I have this machine that I can edit digitally, just recreating scenes, replaying them, and it doesn't cost me anything more. This is magical.
But it's like so fast you can't tell what's going on.
Do you know that Coppola had one of the first digital editing systems, and it was like laser discs? That
Yeah,
you would,
it was.
edit
I'm not
on?
surprised. It was probably the Edit Droid.
Yes, that's what it was called, the edit
Yeah,
droid.
it was George Lucas's Edit Droid.
So, moving forward, they get out of the jump, and oh no! Robert Forster has turned into a hideous thing that's been like fused to the tank.
color
In
out
the
of space
trailer,
thing.
it would lead you to believe that it's a monster that jumps out at them.
It's
That
like
is not
half
the case.
his face and the other half is like stretched and it's fused with the tank.
It looks like somebody threw like a big pile of spaghetti on his face or something.
Yeah.
Well,
and
his
he's
lip's
alive, and he's
stretchy.
like, "Kill me!"
But James Spader's the ship is like kind of hyperspace out into like an asteroid field or something.
They're getting hit. Their fuel is flying into space, so he has to go do that. And then everyone else is trying to save Robert Forster in this very awkward scene.
Get me the laser scalpel.
Yeah. And he's like, she keeps saying, do this, Lou Diamond Phillips. And he's like, I can't. Everything he's trying is not working. Beep, boop, 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 boop.
This
Anyway.
gave me real like Lost in Space vibes. That's a movie we should do for this podcast.
Oof.
I feel like that was incredibly obnoxious movie.
Yes. Yes, it was. Was that Paul W.S. Wait, who did that?
No, that was a guy another Nightmare on Elm Street director. He did 5, The Dream Child, Stephen Hopkins. He also did Predator 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like Predator 2.
Yeah, I like Predator 2 a lot.
Lost in
Great.
Space.
Is it Stephen Hopkins? Yeah, Stephen Hopkins. He was like a British guy, and he was like part of like he went on to direct. He did The Ghost in the Darkness, the one where Val Kilmer and Michael
Hey,
Douglas
I know that
fight a-
movie.
fight a lion or a
lions.
tiger. So anyway, back to this Supernova.
It's like all their fuel is gone. The hyperjump drive is going to take 17 hours to recharge. But they're at this like mining colony that orbits like a blue giant star, which is sucking them in, and they'll be sucked into the sun in 17 hours, 11 minutes. So they have an 11-minute window as soon as their hyper jump is charged.
I hope nothing goes wrong and we don't meet some kind of monster man.
Well, James Spader has been in tighter scrapes than this before.
Yeah, he kind of saves the ship, and they end up kind of just like in orbit around this, I don't know, mining facility or whatever it is. Ice mining facility.
Titan 37, I think.
Right.
And they find a new guy in there, the person who sent out the distress call. Peter, is it Facinelli?
Peter
Facinelli. Is he an actor I'm supposed to know?
Okay, I know him. I've seen him in many, many things.
Oh, Twilight I see here.
Yeah, he's the dad in Twilight.
Most people know.
The dad vampire.
He's the vampire daddy. Most people.
Vampire daddy.
Most people would know him as the bully jock in Can't Hardly Wait, Mike Dexter.
Okay. Well,
the one that's actually gay? Isn't that the joke in that movie?
No, he's not.
Oh.
But he
Okay,
does. He does like. I'm not getting into it.
He's the spitting image of a young Tom Cruise in this movie. It's crazy. His like attitude and his smirk.
He is so douchey in this movie.
Oh, it's amazing.
White bro douche.
I want to say.
I think he's a good actor, but he's been in a lot of shitty movies, so I don't know.
Well, okay. I want to say right off the bat, he's my favorite thing about this movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's the only thing like worth watching in this movie.
But
what about James Spader's awesome shirtless sines?
Yeah, where he just like speaks gruff and like.
Yeah, I'd rather be anywhere else but this film.
Well, he does have Facinelli does have like a
personality,
a rakish, like evil. I'm happy about it kind of.
He's hamming it up.
Going on. Yeah,
he's putting it on. He's
he's like, hey guys,
term.
I got this thing, and this is my favorite thing in the movie: an unexplained orgasm orb. It's pink, it's pulsating. Lou Diamond Phillips cannot get enough of it.
Can he not ever? Holy crap!
It's like a statue that's like a sphere with a hole in it, and he's putting his hand in that hole.
It's just like,
he loves it.
It looks like some weird glowing vase or something.
Yeah, but
like
there's
that.
this stupid effect, this like ripple effect that digital that happens when
this
you're in front of it.
This cost $20 million, April. Yes. Not an effect, it's an experience.
And Lou Diamond Phillips only got $1 million.
One thing I really loved was James Spader is like, go like scope out his ship and just like search it. And he's using this like kind of weird
power suit.
No, he's using like a laser gun X-ray thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really good effect. I really liked this part. He's like, it's almost like a flashlight, and it kind of like
I vaguely remember. It
goes off, and then you can see through objects, and then he finds the urn or whatever, the glowing orb.
I thought Lou Diamond Phillips found it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you said James Spader.
James Spader told Lou Diamond Phillips to go scope out Peter Facinelli.
So what's funny is like they bring into a containment unit, and then
you're not fist fucking that orb, are you, Lou Diamond Phillips?
No. Yeah, James Spader gets really close to Lou Diamond's face, and he's like, "Ugh, looks like you've already been like playing around with this thing."
Peter Facinelli's like, "I found it. I'm bringing it home," and they're like, "You're crazy. You're wrong. What the fuck happened down there?" And Lou Diamond Phillips goes, "Hey, technically, I'm the last person who found it, so why isn't it mine? You found it on the guy's ship. How does that make it yours? Like
in a crate."
Oh, well, I just walked into the room. Hey, I found it, so therefore it's mine. But he's already got the statue crazies.
Yeah. So, well, one thing when Peter Facinelli first comes on, Angela Bassett's like, "Okay, it's not the guy I'm thinking of. It doesn't look anything like him."
He's like, "Oh, he's my father."
But then they scan him. They do this like X-ray scan or whatever, and she says something like, "He's got extra bones," or
he's got a bone growth.
He's got a bone structure like no one else I've ever seen.
And he's like, "Oh, I've had that since I was a kid."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I've been born with that." She's like, "He could be this guy, my ex-boyfriend's son. There is a resemblance, but he said he didn't have any kids." I wonder.
How different could he look, though? Like, does he have
exactly?
Like, is he younger? Is he like? Because Angela Bassett, she's not that old, so
no, she looks pretty young in this, and he looks not much younger than her. So I don't know.
He would only be like
10,
15 years younger at the most, maybe 20, maybe.
You walk in and like April, you don't recognize her because she's got more bones.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Well, we had the same argument when I watched Midnight Mass, but maybe that's a spoiler. I won't. I'll cut that.
Well,
out.
no, at least
let's
the age
not get
gap
into the
there.
Midnight Mass.
It was a larger age gap. You're
right.
It's
a larger age gap, and considering the people, whatever. We won't get into it.
I'm not talking about that show.
Great show.
Facinelli,
that's all we'll say about it.
they're all like sitting around talking about this glowing object and what to do with it. Nobody knows what it is. Peter Facinelli's just like, oh, it's like
what
an
if we
alien
fuck
thing.
it again? Hey, Lou Diamond, stop suggesting that.
Yeah, I think we should fuck it.
And I think
Who said that?
Well, I think before they pick up Facinelli, Spader and
Angela Bassett get it on.
have sex. I mean, apparently it happened in editing, but he goes to her bunk with this like brandy with a pear in it, and they have like sexy pear talk. And then they go in. So people have sex in this like zero gravity room.
They love having sex in the zero gravity room.
Okay.
That sounds very awkward.
How would you maneuver? Like, how would you get
jet thrusters?
Like, you need gravity to move fast, right? So I guess they're just like floating in each other's embrace. We're not even
just
moving.
in the embrace, just rotating.
Yeah, slowly rotate. That's what it looks like.
How would you?
You're just slowly rotating.
I just imagine like somebody walking in on you, and you're like, you know, your dick's flapping around, and you're trying to like grab something.
Yeah, you can't cover yourself up because you're in the middle of the
Like
room.
once that jizz goes, you're like, oh, just flying through the air.
Who's been having sex in the observatory again?
Yeah.
I told you, kids.
So, good old villain Peter Facinelli. He's going around. He's sexing it up. He gets Robin Tunney.
Yeah. First of all, he sees Robin Tunney, their first introduction. He's like naked as well.
Yeah, and she's like looking at his dick. Well, how could she not?
He's just sitting there
like,
talking
oh, man,
to her.
your dick, it's got extra bones on
there.
it.
Yeah. I got one extra bone for you. That's what he should have said.
He ends up like...
Mama told me not to come.
yeah, he ends up boning her. He ends up like having clairvoyance or something. You can like sense
He's
her.
like, I can tell you want to have a baby. What? Wait.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
We forgot that there's a really funny sheet that Lou Diamond Phillips gives Robin Tunney. He's like, I got the papers to get a child. It has the shittiest font on it.
I didn't even know what that was.
Oh, I missed that part.
There's also, speaking of having babies, there's a very weirdly dubbed line of Angela Bassett talking about her ex-husband. And she's walking, and then her voice changes completely where she says, and we broke up and I couldn't have children. And her mouth is making a completely different shape.
Yeah, and she's like the
What was
foreground
that?
character. It's
well,
very
and then
strange.
later in the movie, the whole her having children again comes up again. And it just, it doesn't make sense. It's like something they tried to build in editing and it's just confusing.
Yeah. Goddamn Coppola.
Damn you, Coppola.
Fucking Coppola. Stick to your wine, asshole.
No, his wine sucks.
Oh, does it suck?
Yeah.
He sold his winery, for a couple of mil because he wants to make a final movie.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah, Megaopolis. He's like, I just want to make more movies. I don't want to do wine. Bye-bye, wine.
So long, wine. Hello, millions.
So, moving on from there, doesn't James Spader go down to the planet to find something?
He does. He goes
Yeah.
down because Peter Facinelli kind of says, oh, there's plenty of fuel down there, and they're out of fuel. So James Spader takes off in like a little lander, goes to the mining facility. And I think this is where Facinelli bones Robin Tully. You know, he kind of talks her up. Or Tunney, sorry.
Yeah. And then, like, the next scene...
They're fucking in zero gravity again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Slowly
both
rotating.
They're both digitally made black.
So while Facinelli is fucking Robin Tunney, Lou Diamond Phillips is just like sitting,
he's fucking that orgasm
staring
orb.
at the statue.
He's like,
He's
I'm
eye fucking
coming
this
all
thing.
the time.
But he's touching it, and the first time you see Lou Diamond Phillips in the movie, he's got these like Reed Richards like gray sideburns. Did either of you guys notice
I
this?
didn't notice it. No.
It's like when they've tried to make somebody look older, so they've dusted his hair a little bit in the sideburns. He's got these like white streaks, and I'm like, okay, why does he have white streaks? And like, okay, they're gonna de-age him in this movie or make him younger. So yeah, of course he's like fingering this thing, and then he starts getting younger, and of course his hair goes back to being black.
And Angela Bassett's like, you're growing new muscle, new bones, and you're getting younger.
Yeah.
And so he's doing one-handed push-ups.
He's doing handstand push-ups
on one hand, which they digitally removed the wire,
wire.
but still, even with the wire, that's impressive that actor could do that.
Yeah,
right?
Well, so he he wants to keep going back to this glowing orb, and then they've locked him out of the room. his code doesn't work. It's like, that's how bad he was like fooling around with this thing. They're like, all right, enough, dude.
It's like a drug.
Yeah. They lock him out. And then Peter Facinelli's like, what's wrong? The code doesn't work. And then he smashes it.
In it. And that's how when we realize he has superhuman strength.
He has like X-Men knuckles. They're all like bony.
Yeah, he's like, look at this. And they like shine up. He's like, Psylocke.
That was weird.
Yeah, he kind of grinds them together and they start sparking. I was like,
oh my God, he's like an X-Men. Yeah, it's like, everything is very ill-defined. Like what?
They're very purple.
Yeah. So like, he starts killing everybody on the ship. Who gets it first?
Lou Diamond.
Is it Lou Diamond?
Yeah, he crushes his head in this scene. He does the
and they like cut away so fast. I was convinced that was a cut for rating.
They throw Robin Tully out the window, out the airlock.
Through an airlock, and she just floats away. And I can't believe, I mean, it's in the trailer. So like spoilers in the trailer, but I guess who cares, right?
Who cares?
Exactly.
I just want to fly.
When you've seen the trailer, you've seen the best part.
Yeah, you've seen some of the parts that are not even in this movie,
too.
Not
even in the movie.
Apparently, he does the double crunch on Lou Diamond's head, and then his eyeballs were supposed to pop out, but then they just cut to him being loaded into the airlock. And
you know, James Spader is what's it called? Adventuring the planet? Searching the planet?
Searching the planet.
And he doesn't find anything. He finds a bunch of dead miners
bodies.
And soldiers and stuff. And he's like, huh? And then like Facinelli's on the radio.
He's trying to radio back to more Angela Bassett. And then Facinelli kind of cuts in and he's like, oh, I've taken over the radio.
Yeah, so he strands him there. He steals his ship.
He remote pilots the ship and sets it in an infinite loop-de-loop.
Oh, is that what that was?
Infinite loop? No!
Yeah. And then Robin, that's when Robin Tunney comes in and sees them, and she goes, infinite loop-de-loop? Hey!
And I think it's also around this time that Angela Bassett discovers what the statue is. And I think maybe Angela Bassett might be my favorite part of this movie, because while she does seem... Well, like Spader seems like bored. She kind of seems pissed off that she's even in this movie, but she always brings a gravitas to like her roles and her lines. And, you know, I like the scene where she finds out just by talking to the computer that it's a bomb and it's going to destroy Earth.
Yeah, it's like, what is it? It's got nine-dimensional material. Or something.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like left by these aliens so that when... I don't know, any species that developed like light speed or something would venture out into the galaxy or the universe, discover it, and then bring it back to their home planet where it would go supernova and destroy the world. So it was like basically like a trap to ensure that whatever species created it would be the dominant species of the universe or whatever. It's like,
Then they also say that it can create life. And I heard that was added in editing to make it seem less dire, I guess.
Oh,
okay. Or it could create life, but it could also destroy the planet. We don't know.
It's like the Genesis device you were saying in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining.
That was probably like a Coppola edition.
While
he was drinking his wine. This wine's terrible.
That's your Coppola.
It's rotten.
It's me, Coppola.
I gotta sell this fucking winery. It's rotten.
Isn't he Italian?
He doesn't have an Italian accent.
It's me, Coppola.
I don't know what he looks like.
You want to watch the Cotton Club with me?
New York.
Oh, okay.
I think he's from New York.
I don't. Is he? I don't know.
He's American. He's not Italian.
All right. I think we're near the end of this movie, aren't we? James Spader gets sent to a planet. There's an action scene where I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, Facinelli's like, he's stranded. Yeah, and then he starts attacking. He attacks Wilson Cruz, who's like the ship's computer programmer or something like that.
We haven't talked about him like this whole podcast. And he is also like one of the better actors and characters in the movie. He doesn't get a ton to do.
You know him from Star Trek Discovery.
He was also in My So-Called Life, a teen show I didn't watch, but he was in that. And he's great, but he doesn't like... He spends most of the movie just talking to the computer because he programmed the computer.
Sweetie.
And him and Angela Bassett are like the only two left. And he fucking stabs Facinelli with a...
the laser scalpel, wasn't it?
Well, it was
it's like a grappling hook.
Yeah, like a gun with like a hook on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's
a crossbow.
Grappling hook.
Yeah. And that like pins him in an area and it's pretty brutal. But it's like, how do you stop this guy? He can literally grow his own limbs back.
He's like an X-Man. So yeah, he fights Wilson Cruz.
What you just said sounds like something that a parent would say when they watch
like
the movie to
X-Man.
their kids. They're like, "Hey, it's like one of your X-Men."
You love X-Men's, don't you?
Who doesn't love the X-Men?
X-Men.
This movie is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need the X-Men movie. We have that at home. Oh, Supernova.
Yeah, this scene is so confusing. He's like beating Wilson Cruz up, and then Wilson Cruz is like trying to get...
That wasn't confusing.
Trying to get Sweetie to blow Facinelli out the airlock, but it wants to protect... It's sworn to protect human life.
Because he gave her human traits.
It's just so awkwardly executed. He's like trying to like convince the right... You remember when you woke me up to play chess that one day?
I kind of liked that scene. I was feeling the romance between him and this computer.
It was so like...
And then the computer
and
is
weird.
sad that he died.
Whatever. I wasn't.
No, I wasn't either. How much more of this movie has left? I mean, James Spader, they won't let him die because he shows up in a power suit.
Yeah, he shows up.
He's missing for quite a while, though, it feels.
And you're like, oh, man, maybe he's got the same agent as Robert Forster. And he's like, get me the fuck out of this movie. If you can't kill me off, then just strand me on a planet. He comes back. Yeah. He, I don't know, found an escape pod or something on the...
Not entirely sure how he got back, but he's back, baby.
He's back, baby. And then he comes out. He's got this like spacesuit on with like these attachments, these like
big claws,
hook and pincers, which don't really do a whole lot.
He cuts his Facinelli's arm off.
That's about it.
Yeah, and then they kind
of lock him in a
room again.
They lock him in a cage, and then he puts one of the pincers through the two like arms of the cage, and then he kind of bends it, and it looks like it's made out of tinfoil. That's about it. That's all he's done. And then they use, if you were waiting for that android to come back, boy,
he's coming back.
Flyboy.
Yeah, he gets the big hero moment at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cool thing where what's her name? Angela Bassett puts on these VR goggles and controls this thing.
They showed this at the beginning, but how she controls it is like she looks like she has tinfoil on the tips of her fingers, and it's quite. It's like something we would do.
And she's wearing like a pair of Bono's glasses.
The fauve glasses.
Yeah. And at the end, I guess Facinelli wants to fuck the android, so they're in the anti-gravity room.
Yeah, they meet in the anti-gravity. He's like just tracking down the glowing orb, and then he realizes that it's not Angela Bassett, and then they I don't know, planted a bomb in it as well or something.
No, it is the bomb.
No, they put a bomb in the bomb.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then the android does the classic move. He gives the finger to the villain.
Angela Bassett gives the finger. The android gives the finger. It's really funny. And then the hand with the robot finger like flies towards the camera.
That's like the ending of Leprechaun 4 in space where he grows giant and explodes, and then he gives the finger.
Yeah, nice. That shot cost $20 million.
Yes.
So I
guess
in
Leprechaun in space.
Coppola's like, give me more wine.
I guess they hit their 17-hour mark because they have enough fuel, I guess, to escape now.
Yeah, but Peter Facinelli has smashed all the pods except one
because he was saving one for himself.
Yeah, so they both climb in like, oh, it's gonna fuck us up.
I hope nothing bad happens.
It's not gonna be like
because it was set up earlier in the movie where the one guy is like, hey.
These two guys merged or something like that.
These two
Go
guys,
on, I want to hear you tell it.
I don't even remember. These two guys, I thought it was saying like one guy shoved another in a pod and the other guy grabbed him right at the last second because they were like roughhousing and they ended up joined together with a head on both sides. I guess kind of like a cat dog type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was stupid.
So
and he went, "Are you there yet? Are we there yet?" That's the punchline of the joke. Yeah,
it wasn't a very good joke.
Nah, it wasn't good. I'm glad we saved it for the end of this podcast.
Yeah, he got on a high note. So they warp back to space or whatever. Earth.
How awesome would it have been if they got back and they were like a mutant monster?
That would be amazing. And then it just ends
no, they say, you are 2% bonded genetic material, huh?
Yeah, they kind of swap genetic material. This is what Sweetie is telling them.
Their faces like morph into each other.
Yeah, I was hoping.
During the jump. Yeah.
So and like the fly or something. There's
kill me.
And then we discover Angela Bassett has one blue eye and one brown eye, and same with James Spader. They swapped one eye color.
And then Sweetie's like, by the way, Angela Bassett, you're also pregnant, it's a girl.
That makes no sense.
So I don't know.
Mama told me not to come.
Who impregnated her? Was she pregnant already?
Supernova.
How does the computer know it's a girl? It makes no sense.
It's the future, April.
Doesn't matter.
I guess not. They wanted a happy ending. She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. Yay! Mama told me not to come. You've been watching Supernova. They showed
you have experienced Supernova.
like things. They show the Supernova title twice, by the way, at the end for some reason.
Yeah, they want you to remember. So this was on the wave of remember there was Mars fever that happened?
Mission to Mars?
Got Mission to Mars and Red Planet, the Val Kilmer film.
That's right.
I was thinking of Mission to Mars while we were
That was
watching
all
this.
in 2000, I think. Yeah, Red Planet was.
Whoa.
Mission to Mars was in 2000 as well.
2000 must have been a
space.
terrible, terrible year for movies.
Awful.
For sci-fi movies.
Mission to Mars was okay. We watched it not too long ago for the first time for me, and I thought it was all right. It's a cheesy 90s movie. What do you want?
Yeah.
Sci-fi blew its load with The Matrix in 1999, and they're like, well, what is the shit that we have to follow this up with?
What do we got? Ghosts of Mars or something?
Did Ghosts of Mars come out in 2000?
I don't know.
I think it was
2001.
Oh my god, yeah. So there's another one.
Yeah, I feel like the mid-90s and then the early 2000s for the first 3 years or whatever were the worst for science fiction.
Well, also, I think that was around the time the Mars rover came out, because when I was in elementary school at that time, we were studying Mars for the whole year. There was a big Mars thing and teaching us about space and how we could potentially survive on Mars and stuff like that. So it was everywhere at the time.
Spoiler, you can't.
Nope. Yeah,
well,
big
20
spider
years
monsters.
later,
Unless you're
we
Matt Damon. And then you can grow potatoes.
Martian.
You can grow potatoes in your own shit.
But yeah, the biggest issue that we should all have with this movie is that it looks like a TV show. And if it was a TV show, maybe it would be okay.
Boring
well,
and almost nothing happens.
If this was it's a very, very Star Trek-y plot. We get a call, and then the guy who comes up is not only secretly his younger self, but that literally happened on multiple Star Trek episodes. But he's hiding something that's straight out of one of those scripts.
They said the original pitch was dead calm in space. Which,
yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Dead Calm in Space, right? That's what I was exactly thinking. But Dead Calm is wild, that movie. You got Billy Zane hamming it up.
Oh, that was great. Good movie.
George Miller ghost directing.
Really?
Yep. I mean, that movie's crazy, a bunch of zooms and shit like that. That is not the style of Philip Noyce. That's George Miller, who came in and did some second unit of filming.
Shit. Yeah, that's a good movie. Sam Neill, Nicole Kidman, Billy Zane.
So what's that movie about?
It's they're sailing, and then they pick up Billy Zane. He's stranded on this boat, and he's not who he seems. And
he's a crazy guy, and he tries to kill him, and it's real goofy.
Yeah.
I think Billy Zane gets killed with a flare gun at the end.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it does one of those zoom towards him before he explodes.
I love that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, this movie, I really wouldn't recommend it, but I will say I was engaged while I was watching it, much more so than another movie I will talk about that we're doing on our Patreon. I wanted to know what happened, and I was watching it, but I like slow sci-fi, but this isn't even really good slow sci-fi. It's kind of just lame sci-fi.
Yeah, I think if you take Peter Facinelli out, Dullsville, it's terrible.
It had the
I would highly
ingredients,
recommend Supernova, the trailer of this movie.
We're just watching
watch that now.
that new Stanley Tucci movie, Supernova, that just came out.
Yeah, not that
Him
one
and
from
Colin
2020.
Firth.
It's on YouTube, the trailer. But if you want to watch the movie, it's on. You can rent it on iTunes.
Yeah. Well worth the $4.99. Maybe wait for the 99 cents.
Yeah, but yeah, if
You wait for that Supernova sale.
if you want to watch a boring sci-fi movie, or
Thomas Lee collection.
I think it's not even really funny bad. It has its moments, but
It doesn't even have a monkey in it that attacks the hero like Ad Astra, the Brad Pitt sci-fi
and
movie.
I liked that movie.
Or
Yeah.
the CGI monkey from Lost in Space.
Is there a CGI monkey?
Gleep or
Lost in
Glorp
Space?
or whatever his name is. It was
Gleep Glorp?
It was like that alien monkey.
Glorp.
I do not remember. Oh, yeah, the little ugly one. Oh, we got to watch Lost in Space now.
That was hideous.
Well, I know that Dr. Smith turns into a spider.
Oh yeah.
Wait, he does in the movie?
That's what I remember.
Gary Oldman?
Yeah,
It turns into the Spider King at the end.
It's but I don't know.
It's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe I now have enough distance because I saw it on video when it came out.
I saw it
when
in
came
theaters.
out.
I probably now I've seen enough bad movies that maybe I can enjoy it for its campiness. Like it reminded me a lot of Wild Wild West.
That was like one of the 10 movies.
That's another one we should do.
That was one of the 10 movies you get when you buy a DVD player. You can like order a bunch of them.
Lost in Space?
Yeah, Lost in Space.
Another movie based on an old TV show,
Blade
right?
Runner. That was, I remember Lost in Space was the first movie to dethrone Titanic out of its number 1 place.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
Titanic had been in theaters like for 2 months or 3 months.
But I'm sure
like
the worldwide overall gross of Titanic was a lot more than
Titanic had been number 1 for since December.
I think your statement, April, of Lost in Space having less of a box office than Titanic is correct.
It's true.
Speaking of Lost in Space, people say that Netflix show is good. I don't know if I can get it.
Neil Marshall, he was one of the leads on that.
Really?
Does it still exist? Did it get 2
I
seasons
think it got
and then it was out?
Season?
I was just watching clips from the new season today.
Oh, yeah. So, I did get a new season. Yeah. So, I mean, anyway.
I have never seen an episode of it.
No,
Supernova is what we're talking about today, not Lost in Space.
Do you know John Woo did a pilot?
A pilot for Lost in Space that was never picked up. I did know that.
Years ago.
Interesting.
People keep trying to bring Lost in Space back.
I don't know why.
They really want to make it happen. Well, that's it for this week. If you want to email the podcast, we're at nosuchthingsabadmovie@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at nosuchthingpod. If you want to join our Patreon, we're patreon.com/nosuchthingsabadmovie. At the $5 level, you get a bonus episode every 2 weeks. And next week, we will release an episode on Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is not really it's been out for a while, but we just got around to watching it. Great movie, right, guys?
Yeah, well, you have to listen to the Patreon episode to find out our opinions.
I don't want to spoil it.
And if you want to, if you want to message me or find me, I'm at Twitter and Instagram at April Atmansky.
You can find me on Twitter at DeCloux, DCLOUX and letter J, every week on the Important Cinema Club, and on Letterboxd at Justin DeCloux.
You can find me on Twitter. I'm Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it for this week. We'll catch you on the flip side.
What?
I just want to fly. I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Justin DeCloux.
And I'm Colin Cunningham. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the universe.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
It sounds like April's taking a dump at the end.
He'll turn
the heavens
No such thing as a bad movie.
into hell.